What up, what up, what up? What is going on today, guys? Today's agenda, we are going to be talking about the Yankees. Alright, so let's just review the offseason. The Yankees made a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates for Taillon? Whatever, we'll find out soon. And, you know, they gave away some prospects. This guy's had 2 Tommy John surgeries. There are reports that he's changed the way he throws now, so his throwing motion's different, so maybe he won't get hurt as often. He also has come out and said that he now is incorporating a changeup into his pitch repertoire. This guy, I think, has 1, maybe 2 years left, so it's similar to a Paxton deal, so it's kind of a prove it deal. Alright, with that being said, Jameson in, James out. James out, meaning James Paxton. The Yankees gave up their, top 3 prospect at the time in Justice Sheffield to the Mariners for James Paxton. And at first I did not like that deal. Paxton, his first year, had a good first year. Like, it was a good first year. In the beginning, he was rocky, and then towards the end is when he just turned it up. And in the postseason, I mean, that was that was Andy Pettit-like. You know, Boone went out there to take him out, and Paxton basically said, nah, I got this. And he did. And then last year, injuries plagued him, and he just did not look good. He was not throwing hard. His fastball doesn't have much movement as is, but he was throwing it 92, 93, 94 at best. So hitters were just teeing off of him. You know, the Yankees had to, I guess, make that move. They wanted to get a pitcher behind Severino, but between Tanaka and, I guess you could say that was the move. I just wasn't a fan of it from the very beginning because Paxton is injury prone. But yeah, I liked him as a Yankee. Did I trust him? No. Did I hate him? Did I know that when he pitched we were going to lose? No. Paxton was just a good player with the potential of being a great player. And it's frustrating that he couldn't get there, but you can't blame a player for being a good player. You know what I'm saying? Alright, the re-signing of Brett Gardner. This is a huge topic in the Yankee community. All over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The fans love Brett Gardner so much because he's been here so long. I don't think he will produce more than Clint or more than Tauchman. I think Gardner is our 5th option in the outfield. You have Judge in right, you have Hicks in center, you have Clint in left. You have Tauchman backing up all 3 of those guys, and then Gardner is your 5th option, and I'm okay with that. What I don't like is we gave him $3 million. $3 million or $4 million, whatever it is, for a 5th option outfielder. I don't know. I actually think that's more of an issue in regards to Estevan Florial. That's basically saying the Yankees don't think he's ready yet, and he hasn't hit. I think he's in single A or double A. He just isn't hitting, and he's been a top prospect for the Yankees for 3-4 years now. That's a wake-up call to Florial, like, hey, we don't trust you, get your act together, because Jason Dominguez is, from what I hear, yes, we all know he's like the next Mike Trout or Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio, whatever you want to call him. He's a phenom. We know that. But this 17-year-old is past Florial, who's 21, 22 years old. Yeah. The only issue... No, I'm sorry. I sidetracked it there. Back to Gardner. My biggest concern really is I don't want Boone playing Gardner because what he has done in the past. How he's been the longest tenured Yankee. No. Tauchman and Frazier are better than Gardner. Gardner should not start on opening day. Gardner should not start on day 2. Or day 3. No, Gardner really shouldn't start at all, assuming there's no injuries. That's the key. You know, on the rest day for Clint, the rest day for Tauchman, the rest day for Judge, they could DH, but I want Tauchman being the 4th outfielder. Tauchman's younger. 2 years ago, before the pandemic season, he was a very, very good outfielder. Very, very good. Gardner's a good outfielder, but Gardner's best asset was tracking down the ball. The older he gets, the least likely he'll be able to do that at the level he once was doing at. So if you take away Gardner's speed, yeah, he can catch the ball and he can throw it pretty good, but Tauchman should be ahead of Gardner on the depth chart. Alright, the Yankees signed Justin Wilson to a minor league deal. I like that. My only concern is we lost Betances last year. We lost Canely this year. Who do we have in the bullpen? You know, Chapman, he's great during the regular season, but in the playoffs, do you trust him? Britton's great. I like Britton a lot. The only thing I have with Britton, if he doesn't have it that day, oh boy, it's rough. It's rough. It's scary. And then you have Chad Green. I like Chad Green, but I don't know. He doesn't have a secondary pitch. You know, he has that fastball that's really good, high in the zone, but you don't have a changeup, you don't have a slider or a curve. Like, he needs to develop a secondary pitch for me to call him at least our best reliever. I like the Wilson fit. I think he'll fit A-okay. He's a great lefty-lefty matchup. I think he'll still be effective against righties. But yeah, I like that move. I actually want them to bring in David Robertson on a cheap deal. You know, he was the Houdini for us. All right, we have Corey Kluber. I like it. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says about, oh, we should have Tanaka or somebody else. You don't want Bauer because they paid Bauer more than Cole, and Bauer's not better than Cole. So I wasn't bringing in Bauer. I would have brought back Tanaka, but Drew Smyly signed a deal where he was getting $15 million a year. Tanaka is better than Smyly. Tanaka was going to want like $18 million. The Yankees only had $35 million to spend this year. Kluber, they signed for $11 million on a prove-it deal, meaning he has 1 year to give it his all, to get a bigger contract next year. So you know he's going to be pitching his heart out. Another good thing I liked is I think it's his trainer is actually a trainer for the Yankees, which is a really good thing. And Matt Blake, the pitching coach, was an instructor in the minor leagues when Kluber is part of the organization. He's familiar with Kluber. So I like it. You know, he's had 2 injury-prone years, but that's 2 out of, 7-year career? We took on Paxton. Why not take on Kluber, who's shown he had a 4-year stretch where he's a top 5 pitcher. I'm taking the risk with Kluber. I have no issues with that at all. We signed Robinson Chirinos. I guess it's a backup plan for if Gary gets hurt, you know, because assuming if Gary gets hurt, Higgy will replace him, and then you'll need a backup for Higgy. And our minor league catchers aren't ready just yet, so they signed Chirinos. I'm okay with that move. I'm okay with it. All right, to end the show, we're going to talk about the Yankee predictions. We're going to discuss their record, who we think the Cy Young of the team is going to be, the MVP, the breakout player, the reliever of the year, comeback player of the year, and what do we think the end game is for this season. So give me your predictions in the comments. I'll give you mine. So we're playing a 162 game season, right? I think the Yankees will win 102 games and lose 60. The Cy Young, you got to give to Cole. He had a great year last year. I think this year will be even better for him. The MVP, this was a tough one for me because I could see Stanton having a good season. I could see Judge having a good season. I actually really thought Clint Frazier was going to be the MVP because last year he had a phenomenal year last year. Defensively, he truly played a lot better than he's ever played before. And offensively, Clint's always been a good offensive player. And Yankee fans should like him because he's not home run or nothing. Clint, he reminds me of DJ, where he's just not a slap hitter, but a line drive hitter. He's not looking to hit 35 home runs a year. Now he may, because Clint has great bat to ball skills. He has very, very fast hands. And not to mention, he's freaking yoked. But I have to give the MVP to DJ. You know, just the fact that he can play anywhere in the infield. He's pretty much always healthy. He has a great average. He gets on base. He's a leader, and he doesn't really talk much. So basically, he's the type of guy where he's about that action, and I love players like that. Jeter was like that. LeMahieu is just all around a really great player. He really is. So he's my MVP this season. The breakout player, this was hard because we don't have really any young guys on the team that's going to be starting. So I guess I'll give to Clint. I think Clint will have a great season this year. Reliever of the year, I have Zach Britton. I like Chapman, but Chapman gets too wild too often. He's working on his slider, which means his fastball, the velocity's dipping a little bit. You know, he's not throwing 105, 104, 103. Maybe he'll touch 101, 102 a couple times this season, but Chapman really needs to work on his secondary pitches. Britton, I think Britton's just our best reliever. I really do think that. Comeback player of the year, I think most of you will say Judge. I'm giving it to Gleyber. You know, Gleyber's rookie year, his 2019 season, he was really good. You know, fielding wise, yeah, it's questionable, it's frustrating. He lacks concentration sometimes when fielding, and I get that. That's the game, actually. You know, it's all about home runs and strikeouts, so the fielders aren't used as much. So if Gleyber falls asleep, while it is frustrating, I don't mind it too much. I really don't. But offensively, Gleyber wasn't the same last year. We all knew that. I think this year he not breaks out, but shows us why we consider him one of the top best shortstops in the league. And the Yankees have to win the World Series this year. Plain and simple. Your roster on paper is the best roster in baseball. You've been eliminated in the playoffs, the last 4 years in a row or so? 3 years in a row? Enough with the excuses. It's time to hit in the clutch. Hit in the freaking clutch. Anyone who says pitching is our issue, you're wrong. It's not the issue. Why did we lose in the ALCS 2 years in a row, both times? Look at the games. They are not high-scoring games. We aren't scoring enough runs. In the playoffs, the all or nothing mentality does not work. Yeah, I'm going on a rant right here. It does not work. Analytics are great for 162 games. That's what they're based off of. In the playoffs, no, because the playoffs, anything can happen. Anything. You have to play your hot hand, aside from certain players. Like, Judge has to be in there at all times. DJ has to be in there at all times. But, if it's game 5 of the ALCS and you need to win you need to win it. Like, this is game 5. You need one more win to advance. And Luke Voigt isn't hitting. Put Mike Ford in there. Play the hot hand. If the guy isn't hitting, sorry, sit on the bench. If I'm Boone, I am willing to win the World Series any way possible without cheating. Don't be like the Red Sox, and don't be like the Astros. Don't cheat. Play the better hand. If the guy's ice cold, aside from Judge, Stanton, Cole, DJ, Glaber, don't play him. You don't play him. And that's it. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Give me your thoughts and predictions down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us at CYTalk_ on Instagram and Twitter. Send us any questions or anything you want to talk about. I will talk to you guys sooner rather than later.